Hello, this is my video for foot and ankle examination. So my examination will start off by doing inspections, palpations, and checking the range of movements, followed by some special movements. Okay, great. So my name is Dr. Sasa. Hello. I'm one of the doctor examining your ankles and foot today. If I cause any pain at any point, just stop me. Okay?
Yes.
Right. So I'm just going to start off by looking at your foot. So from the front, I'm just looking for any deformities like hallux valgus, looking for any mallet toe deformities, looking for any erythema, skin changes. Also just looking at alignments of the not just your foot but also your knees and your pelvis as well, because they also form important parts of biomechanics. Okay, so if you could just look to the side for me now. And I'm particularly interested in the arch of your foot. If it is very prominent, it could be pes cavus, suggesting of a neurological deficits. The other possibility, other findings you might come across is the flat feet. We call it pes planus. Okay, so if you could just turn around for me. Now, what I'm particularly interested in is alignment of the Achilles, all the way from the calves, and to make sure there's no swelling suggestive of Achilles tendonitis. Can I just ask you to just stand on your tiptoe for me? And again, you can see that your Achilles tendons are intact. That's fine, you can round. Also just check the symmetry of the Achilles. Normally the Achilles tendons are inserted either neutral or slightly varus. And also I'll be looking at to see if there's if you can see too many toes. If you can see more than two outer toes from the back, it may be suggestive of overpronation of the ankle. Okay, thank you. So next is looking at your gait. So if we could just ask you to walk all the way down, and I'm looking to see if there's any antalgic gait, and there's nothing there. That's great. And then when you examine the foot and ankle, it's important we look at the shoes to make sure to see if there's any interesting biomechanics of the foot. And there's shoe seems all normal there. If you don't mind just asking you to just sit on the couch for me. So the next thing is palpating the foot and ankle. If there's any pain when I feel your foot and ankle, let me know. Okay? So I'm going to start off by first of all checking the back of the leg. So feeling for the calves all the way down to the Achilles and into Achilles insertions. And you're feeling for any tenderness, any pain there? No. Okay. So next one is looking at the fibula. So from the proximal fibula, always look at the patient's face to see if there are any pain. And feeling for posterior talofibular ligaments, calcaneal fibular ligaments, and anterior talofibular ligaments, and there's no tenderness there. And also don't forget to palpate the base of the fists, where there's often a stress fracture there. And also the cuboid just above it. Okay, so now I'm just feeling for the tibia, all the way from proximal tibia down to around the medial malleolus, feeling for deltoid ligaments. And then just make sure you feel the anterior parts to feel for tibiofibular ligaments or syndesmosis. Okay, and now feeling for prominent areas and navicular prominences, feeling for stress fractures. Okay, so I'm going to be just starting feeling the dorsum of your foot. Just feel all the collective. If there's any pain or discomfort, I normally just target in that area. And also don't forget, if there's an injury, don't forget to feel for Lisfranc ligaments between the first and second metatarsal. So feel for each phalanges. And look at the dorsum, looking at the plantar of the foot. Start by feeling for calcaneal fat pads and feeling for where the insertion plantar fascia is, and feel along the plantar fascia and feeling each metatarsal head. That's the first metatarsal there, feeling for metatarsalgia. And then just feel each phalanges. Okay, that's great. So that's a palpation of the foot and ankle. Now it's looking at the range of movements. So if you don't mind, if you could just ask you to just move your ankle up for me, that's great, and down as far as you can, that's a plantar flexion. Okay, great. And if you could turn your foot inward for me, that's inversion, and outward for me, that's eversion. That's great. And if you could put your toe up as far as you can, that's extension, and flexion down. That's great. If there's a range of movement is limited, it could be suggestive of hallux rigidus or limitus. Okay. Next one is looking at the passive movement. So if you could just relax, I'm going to move your ankle. So now that's dorsiflexion. Any pain there? No. That's a plantar flexion. That's inversion. That's eversion. Okay. And if you could just ask, and I'm just going to move your big toe up. That's extension. That's a flexion there. That's all a good range of movements. Okay, lastly, it's a resistant movement. So if you could just cock your feet up again, ankle up, that's great. And don't let me push it down, keep it there, that's great. And push your foot down now, and keep it there for me, don't let me push it up. That's great. If you turn your foot inward, and keep it there for me, don't let me move it for you. That's great. Can you do the other side now? That's great, don't let me move it. Okay, so, and finally, and if you could just put your big toe up, and don't let me push it down. Big toe down, and don't let me push it down. And I would normally do the exactly same examination on the other side, so I'm able to compare the range of movements on both sides. Okay. So next one is looking at the special tests. So there are various ones, but first of all, I'd like to look at the ligaments in particular, the stability of ligaments. So I'm going to start off by doing what we call the anterior draw tests. Anterior draw test mainly looks at anterior talofibular ligaments, and you start off by stabilizing the tibia and fibula. And I'm going to have hands on the midfoot, and you slightly plantarflex. Sorry, I'm going to have a hand on the calcaneum. And slightly plantarflex, and I'm actually moving the calcaneum anteriorly. If there's movements of over 5 degrees, it could be significant and suggestive instability. And always check for the end point. Okay. Next one is Taylor tilt test. So again, I stabilize the tibia fibula with one hand, and I hold the midfoot, and I move the foot inversion and eversion. And again, check on the other side just to compare to both sides always. And excess difference about 5 degrees can be significant. Okay, so the next one is checking for syndesmotic injury, if there is any injury of the history of ankle injury. When what you do is you dorsiflex the ankle and you evert the foot at the same time. If there's a pain around just above the ankle area all the way up, it may be suggestive of a high ankle injury or syndesmotic injury. Okay, and next one is that there are various squeeze tests that you can do. So the first squeeze test you can do is a Mulder test. It's a test for checking for motor neuroma. And what you do is you squeeze all the metatarsals together, and if there's a shooting pain going down with a numbness to the toes, it may be suggestive of motor neuroma. Next squeeze test you can do is a squeeze test of the calcaneum. And if there's any tenderness there, it may suggest a calcaneal fracture or stress fracture there. The last one I would like to do is a Thompson test. What you do, if you could just turn around, and if you just have sit there. That's great. And what you're looking at is to see if the Achilles tendons are intact. What you do is you squeeze the calf, and what normally happens is the plantar flexion of the ankle. And this means that the Achilles tendons are essentially intact, and this is Thompson negative. Now, if there is no plantar flexion when I squeeze the calf, it's Thompson positive, and suggested that there's a complete tear of Achilles tendon. Okay, if you could just turn around. And I would normally complete the examinations by doing full neurovascular examination. In this case, I'll be a little bit brief, but if I'm just going to check, have a feel of your legs, and if you can feel me touching you with your eyes closed, please just say yes for me.
Yes. Yep. Yes. 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 Yes.
Great. You can open your eyes now. Does it feel the same on both sides?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. So, and I'm just going to be checking for vascular status. So I'm just checking for the warmth, and it's an equal warmth. That's great. And I'm just finish off by feeling the dorsolatelis, which is present, and posterior tibialis, and both of them are present. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, doctor.